Welcome back. Another session with the incomparable. Very controversial due to some of these comments. We love it. We talk about the one and only Dr. Ish Major.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Man, let's get right to it, man. We've been talking in these sessions for a minute and, going viral, doing all that stuff because you spitting the truth.
Yeah.
Some people agreeing, some people disagreeing.
Right.
You've been in this space before where, you talked about the situation with Vado that you even had to step away from social media sometimes because
it was brutal.
You get tell me, man, let's talk about that before we get into what we originally talked about, because today we're going to talk about the baby daddy and baby mama commandments, which I believe I need to hear because I got quite a few baby mamas. And But in this forum that we are, Counsel Culture, why we created it, man, we trying to have a safe space and brave place for people to emote. Yep. But sometimes that emoting, specifically online, can be quite toxic.
Right.
And even for a professional like yourself, who know all the tricks of the trade, you're still affected by social media.
It was hurtful.
Tell me why.
Because I'm human. And I like to be liked too. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe I don't need it as much now as I used to, right? But when it happens, people don't, especially if you think you did the right thing and you can't figure out why they're hating you.
What about, because early on in social media, I'm one of those people when especially, I remember 2009, somebody said something about me, my family, my kids. I'm pulling up. What's the address? Send the location. We gonna, if you don't want to talk about it, we can get to it,
Right.
And I was like, I can't be fighting all day. You know what I mean? Like, these are strangers. These people don't know me.
Right.
They want the attention. Like, what for you made you just say, you know what? This is hurtful. I'm gonna just step away. I'm not gonna reply. I'm not gonna try to plead my case because I know I was right.
Right.
I'm gonna just step away.
Well, so at some point, you got to have enough sense to stop feeding the monster you're trying to kill. Right? And with every single reply, with every single defense.
Stop feeding the monster you want to kill.
Right?
That's an ishism right there. Bars.
and that's the essence of trolls on social media, right? Every reply, right? Any air you give that fire, they're like, got him, where I want them. And it keeps the thing going, right? So what happened with the Vado situation? It's a couple of things, right? I grew up with 5 sisters, 8 aunts.
Yeah.
I know what it looks like when a woman comes home after she got her ass beat, right? I saw that. I know what that looks like. And when it happened in a controlled space, I was responsible for keeping a safe space, and I didn't. So yeah, they were right about that part. It got way out of control. That's on me. But once I took the control back, I did the right thing, which is what we do in clinical practice, right? Whoever's the aggressor, they got to leave the house.
Yeah.
Vado, I get it. I get why you did it, and I understand that. And I'm sorry I missed the part where she hurt you and threatened you and helped you feel unsafe. I apologize for that. But where we are now, you got to leave, bro. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And we chopped it up for hours after that. And he was like, I get it. I get it, right? But once the social media fire gets going, and so when the heat came down, I tried to defend myself. I tried.
Yeah.
I was like, I was out there in the Pacific with a little lifesaver. Might as well have had a balloon because I was drowning. And folks are like, we don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it.
It turned on you.
Right? And it turned. And so I was like, okay, so I'm gonna step away. Right? And let's see what happens in 2 or 3 months after you've had some time to think about it without the level of emotion. And then when I came back, folks were like, where you been? We need some more wisdom. I was like, y'all full of shit.
I mean, that they either love you or they hate you, man.
And
I feel like also I've realized when it comes to comments, and there's no offense to anybody out there, anything like that, but they're the extreme.
Right.
They either love you or they hate you. The people in the middle really don't have time to comment because they're indifferent.
They're not passionate enough.
They're not passionate enough to sit there and type.
Exactly.
The comments are the people who have the passion.
Right. Exactly.
Who need to tell you this.
Right.
Who need to say this to you. Whether it's I need to tell you how much I love you.
Right.
Or I need to tell you how much I hate you.
Right.
So that's how I've always dealt with it. And, like I said, I've had my own therapy, my own, work that I've worked on myself to where, I only engage in love and healing when it comes to comments and jokes and fun. But like, I'm never gonna have discourse with a stranger.
No.
You know what I mean? That's just not, it's like they say, Be careful when you argue with fools, from a distance you can't tell who's who.
Can't tell, right? You cannot tell.
You know what I mean?
And for me, it was a check. I was like, okay, well, let me take a step. Let me take a step back and look at it. Was I in the wrong for that? Okay, there's definitely, because it's all information.
Yeah.
If you can look at it as information, right?
Constructive criticism.
And not even constructive, just information.
Yeah.
So this person says, I'm a bad doctor. I'm not even a real one because this thing happened. Let's take a look. Let's unpack that a little bit. Right? If there's anything for me to learn, I'll try to learn it and move on. If not, I got to keep it pushing. And so but it was rough, man. I was gone for like 3 or 4 months, man. I was like, I can't do it.
Wow.
I was like, I'm not built for this.
Yeah, that's interesting. They're coming from the doctor himself.
Right.
I mean, it was always, making sure that we stay positive and have our mental health together. But I think that even brings us into a good segue of like, as men, how we must conduct ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And you got some baby daddy commandments and some baby mama commandments. How'd you come up with this?
Well, listen, we've had a lot of folks come through the show who are no longer together, right? And so now they're in that co-parenting phase, and
which I'm in a few different scenarios,
right? And it's hard.
Yeah. It's challenging. I don't like to say hard.
It's challenging, right? It's challenging, and a lot of times it doesn't go well. And no matter how many tools you have in your bag, it's hard to reach them in the moment.
Yeah, that emotion to get in the way,
right?
You want to flip that fucking bag over.
Exactly, right? Yeah. Because I love my kids. I'm trying to do the right thing. You seem to be stopping me from doing that, or I don't even know what's stopping me from doing it in the moment. And so because it's more than just me now. Now it's me and the child, and then I'm trying to manage you. And so it's a lot. So yeah, we got some baby mama, baby daddy commandments. You want to hear a few?
Please, hit me with them.
First baby daddy commandment: never break a promise to your kid. Ever. If you can't show up for practice, tell them you can't make it to practice.
Yeah.
If you can't show up for the game, let them know you can't make it and why, right? If you forgot their birthday, own that shit. Hey, I am so sorry. I forgot. It will never happen again. Because when you start breaking promises to your kids, it tells them that they're not significant, that they're not important, right? And their worth and their value goes from here to here, especially when a father breaks it to his daughter, or when a mom breaks it to her son. Can't do it.
Wow. That's a heavy one, dog. That's the one we starting off with? Shit. I don't want to hear no more.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, that's real, man. That's real. I mean, as someone who was a child in a baby mama and baby daddy scenario, and one who is a baby daddy, I live that, I breathe that, I know that. Right. I think the reason why I walked in that so seriously is because I felt that pain of being let down.
Right.
So ooh, I don't ever want my kids to feel that.
Right.
And I attempt to be honest with because one thing I've also had to realize and understand is there's gonna be some disappointment.
Right. Absolutely.
I'm never gonna be able to please everyone as much as I want to. And I mean, I got, literally the father of 12. So at some point, I'm gonna be doing the dance, whether it's for work or whatever. But if I can, one, show them that I'm doing my best.
Right.
And then two, when I do fall short, step up and admit it and own it.
Right. So for you, 12 kids, of course you're going to break some promises.
Yeah.
Right? What you got the best
don't
intentions.
promise.
Exactly.
Yeah. Say I'm gonna try my best.
Right.
Or this is what I want to do. This may prohibit me from doing it. But if I can't make this one, I will definitely make the next one.
And you'd be amazed what kids can process and handle when you talk to them like they're grown up.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I get it. Yeah. Oh wait, so you had to do the thing out over there, and you might got it. Cool.
Right.
Right.
And I'm like I said, I ain't got all of the answers. I'm pretty sure I have yet to even understand the challenges that I will be faced with when a lot of my kids are similar in age, and but again, as long as I'm doing my best, I think that's what I've learned.
Right.
I'm not trying to be negligent in any. I'm not trying to lie or really mislead or manipulate. But my goal is to love you unconditionally with all that I got.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's that's true masculinity, right? You are penetrating everybody you care about with the force of your
hey
love.
man, listen.
I've
done enough penetrating.
Listen, the same way you penetrate with your penis is the way you penetrate with your love now, right? They got to feel that, right? And you got to be very intentional about that. It sounds weird to say. You're laughing because that's not something we talk about as men. What do you mean penetrate somebody with my love? What you talking about?
Right.
But you've got to make it known.
That sounds like a song lyric. I'm gonna penetrate you with my love.
Right? Yeah. Right?
I feel it. Yeah, no, real. That's real. All right, what's another one? You got another one?
Baby Momma Commandment.
All right.
Stop talking shit about your baby daddy in front of your kids.
Yeah. That's
because
a real one.
he is your baby daddy, but he is that child's father. And they need to have a way to love him if they're going to grow up whole and healthy. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So as mom,
every child needs both parents.
Right.
If it's all possible.
And so if you're the primary caregiver, your job is to always, your snowplow. You are always clearing a way for that kid to love their other parent. Always. And when you're complaining about what he didn't do, the thing that he said, right? He got that new bitch, whatever that is, right? All of these things. You know I'm not lying. You know I'm not lying.
Facts.
Right? When you are saying all of these things, so then the kid's like, well, he sounds like a terrible person, right? I thought I was going to try to be like him in some ways, but now I don't know.
We've seen that in the public too, man. We've seen, that's what breaks my heart about some of these guys that I know, like, are good dudes, public figures, do so much.
Right.
And then we watch their children in public say some horrific things, some terrible things about their father that you know they only learned from the mom. I mean, I even say, like, you know, I got a love-hate relationship with 50 Cent.
Yeah.
But I love that dude, man. Brilliant. One of the most brilliant and brave individuals I've ever witnessed.
Yeah.
But the one thing where I always question, and I think even he and I have talked about it before, and like, he's just, if you mess with 50, it's locked in. Like,
for life.
Petty.
For life.
And we've even, like, we watched 50 go from with his son in his music video. You saw the love.
Right.
You saw the G-Unit chain. The dude looked just like him. He took him with him wherever he went.
Right.
And then to now for them, his oldest son, that he don't even acknowledge him. He literally says he's not his son. And granted, he's a grown man now, and there are some things that even he did. I'm like, ooh, I would never do that. I wouldn't do that to my worst enemy. You know what I mean? Like, even like some street code stuff that you just, you know,
that you don't break.
But you could tell is from pain and hurt. Right. And it's like, there has to be some healing there, because you could tell the root of it was all about finances. And that's one thing I want to get into as well. I want to hear your take on that as well. Because even I read 50's book and everything, and even there he talks about it. But at the root of it, it was the desire for money.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like when money can break up a family, and it wasn't that 50 wasn't taking care of it. It's just like they felt like they deserved more, and 50 was like, well, the law says, and King of Petty, he's like, I was going above and beyond for you.
Right. Right.
And I do want to touch on it because this is where I actually want to go.
We're always trying to get understanding, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just about the money, it's about what the money means.
Right.
Right? Does it mean you have to claim me? Does it mean, that it means that you're acknowledging me? Does it mean that I'm important enough to have the same kind of lifestyle that you? It means a whole lot of different things, because we, in general, have horrible relationships with money. Black folks in particular, we have terrible relationships with money.
Facts.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it's not the money, it's what the money represents. And that's the thing that we're trying to get to.
See, like, to me, and this, I mean, I'm on 50's side on this one, because, and that's what I said, I want to dig into this as well. The child support system in itself. 50 actually, initially with his oldest son, went above and beyond and sidestepped the system. And from for what he says and what I believe, he was providing almost $500,000 a year to the mother of his child for his son.
A lot of diapers.
And like, again,
Right?
And then from what I've heard from his story, he said she didn't think that was enough because when she sees the music videos, when he's about to, he bought Mike Tyson's old house and the money that he's making at the time, she lawyers up and says, I want more.
Yeah.
So 50 being 50, lawyers up too and said, let's go to work.
Let's go.
And clearly, the case showed that 50 was going above and beyond. And therefore, since you wanted to go to court, now we got to pay for these lawyers because those are the people that are going to make the most money out of this. These people that have no connection to our family, this system that really don't care or give a shit about us at all.
At all.
Now we've given these people our time, energy, and money. And now the verdict is, I only have to give you, I believe it was something where like $6,000, $7,000 a month.
A pittance of what he was giving her.
Which now equates to a percentage of what I was giving you. Therefore, that's what created the turmoil in the whole scenario. So I bring up the question in, child support. In these baby mama, baby daddy commandments.
This is one of the commandments.
How important, it's a broken system. And people, like, you hear the rumors about me, or Nick Cannon doesn't pay child support. Goddamn right I don't pay child support because I don't need the government to tell me how much money I need to give my children. My money is my children's money. They can have it all. Everything that I do is for my children. So granted, I got to split it up because I got a lot of children. But every dollar that I make, I want to go to my family. I don't need somebody to tell me what's I know the minimum. And if I gave every one of my kids the minimum, I would save a lot of money. But there would be so much emptiness in me. I already struggle with enough. So then now I'm withholding. Now I got to be a wise steward of my money because it run out and now all of us ain't got shit.
Of course.
But the ultimate goal is every dollar that I make, I want to go to my children.
And
so why do I need the government to help me with that? Because ultimately, when we see what it is, child support system wasn't built to help the mother. The child support system was built to help the system. It's the more money this individual, it's just like taxes. It's just like student loans. It's just like we're making all of this. We want to regulate what you do with your money so you can have to pay me, the government. So because a lot of the times that money doesn't even really get to the child or even to the mother of the child because of how the system is designed.
A lot of what
in
you're
different
putting in.
state to state.
State to state, a lot of what you're putting in. And so my thing is, why do I need the government to put a price tag on what it costs for me to love my kid every month? So there's that part, But another one of the commandments is stop making your kids chess pieces on the board when all they really want to do is play checkers, And so now when we talk about child support, your child is a chess piece, So if I move them here, then I can get $10,000 a month. But if I put them over there, then I'm only going to get $2,000. So we're going to go here, And so that's what's happening, That's what's happening. So yes, there's the dollar amount. Yes, there's that needs to be there. Whatever your opinion on that is, hey, when the women's, I always find it interesting when the mom says, hey, you know what? I deserve to be taken care of in a manner to which I have become accustomed, I
understand that.
Kevin Costner's ex said,
she's getting $250,000 a month.
A month, right? And to her credit, she was like, because I have gotten used to personal maintenance, and she was like, obviously this is not all for the kids, but this is the lifestyle that he's been providing, so why should I have to suffer simply because he no longer wants to see my vagina? Right? So there's all that, but the other thing, that can make this a lot more smooth is think about the other ways you can give child support, What else can you do? Yes, you can do the money for sure. Can you be present, right?
That is the time is but even then, if I need the government to help me monitor the time,
can you come over and change some diapers? Can you babysit?
Yes,
right.
Yes,
can you feed them? Right? Can you pour some puffs in the bowl for cereal in the morning? Can you do these things? Right? Because one of the things that I hate about child support, when we think about this term deadbeat dads and all that, what's the image that immediately comes into people's minds? right, is either some black dude in the hood or some redneck with a mullet, right? And I think that's terrible because what the numbers say is that ain't true at all, right? If we think about all the dads, right, they're not married, all the baby daddies who are present in their kid's life, who show up to change diapers, who show up for feedings, who show up to tuck their kids in, who have spent at least 4 or 5 days a week reading or doing some type of activity with their kids, you know who's at the top of that list?
Black men?
Black men, brother.
Facts.
Right?
And just because it's not your traditional way, it's looked down upon and saying that you're creating broken homes or you're a deadbeat father. But ultimately, they're showing up and they're more present than ever before. Which, I mean, I got to applaud because it's been...
You know, that's been one of the knocks on us. That's why it was so easy to show up and call us boys, because we never raised up to our responsibility as men.
So now we want to say, I want to do what my father didn't.
Right, exactly.
And I believe this generation, or at least our generation, is attempting to do that.
They're trying to do it, right.
But I mean, again, when you got systems that are really against you, like I do not think the child support system is for the black family.
Yeah.
I don't think that, and when I say for them, I mean like they're not applying to help them.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's another government system that's designed for us not to win.
Well, it's poorly resourced.
Yeah.
It's woefully understaffed. And what you don't want, right, is somebody sitting in a room with you and your significant other and your child who doesn't give two shits about you, telling you how you have to run your life together. That's what you don't want. Now you've lost all control.
Yeah, and even as a man, you feel emasculated that I've been working my ass off.
That's right.
To provide for my family, and there's another individual that has to come in and tell me how to do it.
And tell me how to do it.
And even because, and like you even put, when it comes to that time, like now you're putting a price tag on how long I can say. Because what if I don't make the amount of money?
Right.
Do I now get less time with my child?
Right. Things change, right?
And now even the penalty, which is so crazy to me,
right.
The penalty for not being able to pay for your child is imprisonment.
Right.
So you're really taking me away from my child and my family and setting my child up for failure.
Right.
Because I couldn't afford to take care of my child. Now I'm incarcerated.
Right.
And no one, even if I was only making $20 or doing scrounging to put it together, you've stolen that away from my family.
Right.
And now I'm in jail because of not being able to. So even in a system where it's already designed for me to fail because I can't make the amount of money that another class of individual can.
Right.
And now
for whatever reason. Right. For whatever reason.
And now again, I know I created it.
Right.
It's my bed. I got to lie in it. This is my child. Nobody told you to go out here and make these children. I know all of those things to be true.
Right.
But if I'm trying to put up the effort, and now because I'm penalized and I'm punished, that does something to a man's spirit.
Well, it breaks your spirit because it does the number one thing that you cannot do to a masculine energy individual, which is let them know that they are not appreciated. That's what happened to 50. He was doing he was going above and beyond the call, wasn't appreciated. And what you not gonna do to a man like 50, right, is let him know that you're not appreciated, right? Because he reacts poorly to that. Okay, but men in general.
Doc said it, not me. So whatever post you put up after you see
I'm just saying,
gear it to Dr. Ish.
50. Don't come at. I'm a little fish. Don't come after me.
We done had enough quarrels. I love you. I don't want no smoke.
But that's it, right? But masculine energy wants to be appreciated, right? We will run a country mile. We'll run a marathon for you as long as we have some appreciation when we come home. And so what's got to happen to navigate that system, you've got to have some uncomfortable conversations between the two of you outside of that. Because what she's trying to do, she's trying to regain control of a situation she lost control of. She had a baby for you. She didn't want you to leave. She wanted y'all to be together, right? That's the whole premise of starting a family together. And now I lost him. I lost control of this situation. And everything from that day forward is about regaining control of a situation you lost. If I got to use the kid to do it, I'll do it. If I got to use a judge to do it, I'll do it. right? If I gotta get some knucklehead over and pretend who I'm on date for a little while to make him jealous, I'll do that too.
Come on, don't start preaching in here.
Right? All of these things happen because they're trying to regain that control, the connection, the belonging that was lost. It all goes back to the needs we're trying to meet.
Man, we got to pause right there. That's heavy. And this one is to be continued. We're going to need to hear some more of those baby daddy, baby mama commandments from Dr. Ish, but we unpacked a lot. I mean, this was definitely healing for me, some things I needed to hear, expressing some things, you know.
I'm glad that was the first time you heard that about the Mariah tattoo.
Yeah. I mean, we get into it, man. This has been some great sessions with my man, Dr. Ish Major. Obviously, you can catch us both on the upcoming show, Counsel Culture on Amazon Prime. We created a whole platform from podcasting to television to hopefully books and tours and all of that. So we
needed space, right? Men holding space for men to show up and be who we are.
You heard it. Dr. Ish,
right? Yes,
Counsel Culture. Like, subscribe. We out.